Hi. I totally just went live on Instagram and thought I was going live on Facebook at the same time, but I hadn't clicked it apparently. So here we go again. Um, but this time I get to go live on in both my big creative fun group and my business page. So silver lining. Um, Today I was inspired to talk to you a little bit about how to remove blocks to having more wealth in your life. And this was inspired by this incredible women's circle that I joined this morning, that was online with women from all over the world. And the subject came up about receiving. And I just, had this very, just became very clear on this idea that really we can have whatever we want if we're just willing and able to receive it, because all the opportunities are out there and we're capable of creating whatever we want, but it's the blocks that we have that it's not possible, or I can't because of this reason, or I just haven't thought about it, or I'm too busy just doing the same old thing, that we kind of cut ourselves off from those opportunities. And I'll introduce myself briefly. My name's Sarah Mack. I'm a copywriter and creative business coach. I work with artists, coaches, and healers. And I'm really passionate about money mindset and intuitive business strategy. And I'm really, into wealth, talking about wealth in particular at the moment, just because, well, money's really fun. It's really fun when you have it, and it's really not fun when you don't. And I know that sounds obvious, but I've struggled my whole life and without having much money. And the last couple of years, I just decided, that was it. I've got to sort this out. If other people can have, be wealthy and have a wonderful life with all the money they need, then so can I. And just through, really educating myself about wealth, I've completely transformed my life. I'm earning more money than I ever thought possible, and most importantly to me is that I'm doing work that I love with people who I love and who inspire me, and that's really exciting to me, and it gives me the freedom and the creativity, and all of the fun that I want from my day-to-day life. Like, I don't want to be sacrificing my life doing things that don't make me happy and that take away from the fun and the freedom. That's what I wanted to talk about today. And by wealth, I mean that can be anything from love and relationships to money to fun to creative freedom, and really just all of the things that contribute something positive to your life, that make you happy and make you feel like you're living a life well lived. And the way that you get over the blocks, that's something that I've really, a process that I've been succeeding at over the last few years. And it's working intentionally and deciding what it is that you want, and then going for it and deciding that it is possible for you. Because once you do that, you just open yourself up to be able to receive those things. So I'm going to give you 4 steps to work intentionally to create what you want. And that applies to wealth, that can apply to love and relationships, it can apply to creative freedom, whatever it is that you want. And it's been working for me, working intentionally, in all areas of my life. Primarily, I think the first major success I had with this process is meeting my partner, who it was actually, I had kind of a rubbish dating experience before I met him, and that was just kind of the line for me, and I drew it, and I decided, no, I want better than this. I want more than this. And I became very clear that I wasn't going to settle anymore. And I decided to value myself higher. So I could, and I made a big list of everything I wanted from my relationship and decided I wasn't going to settle for anything less than that. And then boom, my partner appeared, and it was, better than I ever expected, and makes me happier than I have ever been in my entire life. And so I used that process then, and then I used it again for my business. I decided I wanted to be location independent and have an online business, so that could give me the freedom to travel, because I love to travel. And I didn't really know how that was going to happen, but a solution just fell into my lap, and I followed the breadcrumbs. I put myself in the vicinity of other online entrepreneurs, and then I launched a business that's meant I've been able to live in and work out 13 different countries in the last 3 years. And it's given me so much creative freedom. It's given me more money to be able to put into my creative projects, which I've been wanting to do since I was a kid, which is songwriting, video art, and performance. And I've been doing that again now that I decided that that's what I wanted to put my time and energy of my life into. So just being very intentional, deciding what I want, and getting it every single time. Another one, moving to North America. When I first came out to Canada, I had 1 month in savings. I didn't know it was going to work out, but I knew that I really wanted it. And of course that worked out. It has been working out for the last 8 years. And hopefully I'm going to get my residency in February. I just want to see some examples just to show you evidence that what I'm about to talk about really does work. And I've been using it successfully to grow my income every year, even month by month. I'm growing my income using these principles. So step number one, and I guess what I want to make clear is that removing blocks to getting what you want is just an internal shift. And so the first step to that is valuing yourself. And that can apply to in relationships, that can apply to in business. When you really take the time to value yourself and understand on a deep level that you do deserve all of the things that you want and that you can have them, you'll be willing to go the extra mile to make them happen. And it won't seem like a struggle and a challenge, like a struggles and challenges can be in other areas of your life when you're trying to figure out something that isn't really, something that you intentionally went after. It's just sort of ended up on your plate. And that can go for your romantic relationship. I do believe that love and money are the same energy. When you value yourself, you don't settle for relationships that make you undervalued, or they don't satisfy you and fulfill you and make you happy. You don't settle for work that isn't really in alignment with who you are and what you value in the world. You don't settle for getting underpaid. You go out there and you create and find those opportunities for yourself to have more money, to have more fulfilling relationships, and to have more creative freedom and fun in your life by saying no to all of the other things. And that's step number 2, is setting boundaries. So self-care is really big for that. Obviously doing what it is that you need to be able to make the things happen that you want to happen in the world. And that can mean saying no to certain things, like a lot of things actually. It can mean if you want to earn money, then you have to say no to working for free. Obviously, I worked at a low rate at the very beginning of my career. I went through a period of doing some trades and some freebies. And the funny thing was that as soon as obviously I said no to doing any more of those things, that space opened up and paying clients came in. So that's the power of boundaries. The boundaries you get to set whatever it is you need for the parameters of the life that you want. So if you want the energy to do the projects that you want to do, to launch the business you want to launch, to make space for the relationship that you really want, or the relationships that you want, then, you have to maybe say no to staying out late at a certain event, maybe saying no to invitations, maybe saying no to work that doesn't light you up and make you happy and that drains your energy, saying no to relationships that don't fill you up and energize you, and creating that space so that you have the time and opportunity to fill it with the things that you do really want. And step number 3 is a big one. It's opening up to receive. So this is really the idea that inspired this video, is that we have all of these opportunities out there in the world, all of these incredible people, all of these people to work with, people to be in relationships with, all of this money to be able to be earned, all of this creativity to be able to share and collaborate and give, all of the fun to be had, so many adventures to be had. But if we're all clamped up and busy doing things that we don't want to be doing, then we're not open to receive. So And that means, you know, getting rid of the stuff that's holding the place of the stuff that you really do want. So that means clearing your schedule of what isn't making you happy and saying no to it, saying no to the lower paying clients, saying no to the, you know, the relationships that aren't serving you, quitting your job or cutting back on work that's draining you instead of energizing you and fulfilling you. And then, you know, by creating that time in your schedule and that open space, or like those open evenings where you don't have, or, you know, a million things booked in, you'll be surprised how the opportunities will show up, and you'll recognize them, and you'll have the time and space to act on them. And you'll be able to say yes to new invitations, or you'll be able to take on higher paying clients because you have that time and space in your schedule. So, you know, being really clear of like, if it's not what you want, then it has to go. And that's opening up to receive. And it really is that simple. If you want something, create space for it with the intention that that's what you want to fill that space with, and it will happen. And that leads me on to step 4, which is having faith. So that's something that I definitely learned as a freelancer, because I never really had an office job, because I couldn't really handle it, being in the fluorescent lights and, you know, sitting still for hours on end in front of a computer. I really like stimulation. I really like, you know, being around different people and like different opportunities, different places. So, and I worked very short-term contracts. So I just had that faith that, you know, there would always be another job when I was available, and I kept that time and that space available. So that was a really good skill to learn, is getting over that fear of having space and thinking like, oh no, I don't have enough money. I'm not going to find another job. There's always another opportunity, and you're always capable of creating opportunities for yourself. You know, especially if when you do get opportunities, you show up, you do your best work, and you're really focused on what it is that you want. And you're very intentional about what that space is for. Just having faith, and especially when it comes to stepping up, you know, if there is an opportunity that feels like it's a bit out of your league, or it's a bit out of reach, or you're not quite ready for it, just choose to have faith that it will work out, and that opportunity has come to you for a reason. And if you want it, then, you know, take it. If that's really something that you want, then take it. And that's another one. For example, when you're putting your prices up, for me, I would always be like so afraid every time I put my prices up, thinking, oh, I'm not going to get any clients, I'm not going to be able to pay my bills, everything, the whole business is just going to stop running. But that never happened, not one single time. In fact, what did happen is I just started attracting different clients who valued my work much more, were way more fun to work with when I started charging higher rates. And I had that more breathing space to be able to put more time and energy to really deliver a fantastic job for all of my higher paying clients. So whenever you feel a little bit fearful, just decide to have faith that it's all going to work out, because it really, like, pretty much always does. And if it didn't, then something better will come along for you. And especially if you're really valuing yourself and deciding that you want the best for yourself and your life, and you're not going to settle for what you don't want, you will always have that drive to seek a better opportunity. So yeah, and that's another thing. Like, now I've created so much more freedom for myself because I put my prices up, and I earn more money. I don't work as much, so I'm not as burnt out. And it's just those little steps that I've taken in faith that have been in alignment with what I decided I want for myself. So yeah, just in summary, whatever it is that you want more of, whether that's love, whether that's money, creativity, freedom, or fun in your life, you can have whatever you want, if you just create the space for it and you stop blocking it with the things that you don't want. So acknowledging your value, deciding that it's right and good and safe and completely possible for you to have whatever you want, setting boundaries, making sure you're saying no to what it is that you don't want, opening up to receive, creating space for what it is that you do want, and having faith and a little bit of patience. And you'll be surprised as to how quickly things can change when you start implementing these things. And just, you know, as you start to get more proof, just really solidifying that value that it is possible for you to get what you want. Just keep taking action, keep following these steps, and you can have whatever you want. So I do have one more space available to work with me for 3 months of one-on-one coaching for money mindset and intuitive business strategy. So that's half price for one more person. If you're interested in that, please send me a message. And we can have a free discovery call to see if we're a good fit. And if you have any questions or comments or feedback, I would love to hear them. And thank you so much for watching, and have an amazing day. Bye.